Recently, I've been getting a little tired of the horribly gruesome and tragic anime that I normally watch. The downside to finding anime that doesn't have tragedy and death is that it's all garbage. Other than comedies, of course, a good old whimsical chuckle is nothing to scoff at. But one of the big reasons I watch anime is for the So in my search to find an anime that meets my specific needs, I came upon a recommendation from a friend who, mind you, is a JoJo fan, so I was skeptical. He told me to watch BlueLock. It's a soccer anime, or football if you're from a made-up country, and that's all I knew going in. So one fateful morning when I was scrolling through the internet looking for something to watch, I stumbled upon BlueLock. I remembered the recommendation and decided to watch the first episode to see if it was worth watching. The show opens with the crucial last moments of the protagonist, Yoichi Isugi's high school game that decides if his team makes it to nationals. Running up to the goal, Isugi can only think of the prize he is after. Nationals! He runs up to the goal with a defender in front of him, and he hears his coach say, "One for all and all for one." He remembers this phrase, as it has most likely been drilled into his head over and over since he was a kid. That soccer is a team sport where everyone helps each other to win. He passes to his teammate, and then the teammate misses the goal, leaving Isugi's team the losers. These first moments of the show brought me back to the time when I was a kid, and my parents would put me in random sports. The rule was that I needed to at least be in a sport, and the first sport I tried was soccer. I never played much soccer after the brief few years when I was in elementary school playing for the red team, but I do remember how our team operated. We always switched positions, giving everyone time to shine with the ball, but no one on our team knew what to really do with the ball other than kick it towards the goal, so we were beaten again and again. At the time I didn't understand it, but looking back at it now after seeing the opening to BlueLock, it was that attitude, that everyone should work together and play as a team, one for all and all for one. Apparently, a loser's mentality. As Isugi stands among his crying teammates, he only feels the dread of being a loser. The dread of his dreams dying before him. I actually don't think this was some career-ending game or anything, judging by the nonchalant conversation with his parents later in the episode. Regardless, Isugi is a heavily relatable character based solely on this opening, especially if you played sports throughout your life. He doesn't have some horrible backstory where his mother dies in front of him, or was an orphan from a young age and hated by the people around him. He's just a normal kid, 2 nice parents, a standard soccer team, and he looks up to the superstar players. I think we've all had a moment in our lives where we just... Anyway, my goal here is to get you to watch BlueLock, and I think I can do this by introducing you to Ryosuke Kira. Kira was the star player on the team that beat Isugi in the opening of the episode. Once the BlueLock invites go out to select players, Isugi and Kira meet outside of the Strain's facility. Kira is immediately friendly and the spitting image of the classic all-around awesome dude. Once inside, it's revealed that all the players there, that this is an invitation to a Squid Game-like challenge to train and develop a star striker for Japan's World Cup team. We are introduced to the brains behind this operation, Jinpachi Ego, whose speech is just wonderful. Once Kira hears of this, he starts to argue with Ego, that players here have teams back home, that they need to help, and it's not right to just abandon them. The response Ego has to this is fundamental for understanding this show. He pries at everyone's egos as he explains that a world-class striker must be an egoist to be great, that they must want to be the star of the field in order to win at BlueLock. This whole speech is the opposite of what Isugi had learned his whole life playing soccer. We even hear his thoughts of doubt in his mind. But once Ego describes a scenario that was identical to the one Isugi was just in, Ego finishes the scenario by saying, "Only an insane egoist could take that shot." Isugi knew that Ego was right, and the blue flame signifying his evolution into a better player shines in his eyes, making him the first one to run to the doors and join BlueLock. Within the facility, the 300 people are split into groups of 12, and it just so happens that Isugi and Kira are in the same group. The players learn that there's a ranking system here at BlueLock, and it is discovered that Isugi is the second worst ranked player at BlueLock, and out of the 12 here in the room, Kira is the highest ranked. They are soon thrown into a game of soccer tag, pitting the 12 against one another. ball gets kicked around and Isugi ends up with that ball. While Isugi desperately tries to tag another player, he decides on a strategy of going after the lowest ranked player, and after some commotion, his target lays on the ground with a sprained ankle, unable to dodge the ball. Isugi has him dead to rights, but he remembers why he is truly there. The blue flame reappears in his eyes as he has the realization that he should go for a higher ranked player to improve his own skills. His new target eventually becomes Kira, and in the last second, Kira is forced to leave BlueLock and his soccer career behind, so he obviously gets mad at Isugi for going after him. He argues with Ego that the game was not fair, and that you can't tell if someone is good at soccer through a short game of tag. Ego tells him differently, explaining that the room they're in is the same size as a penalty box from soccer, and that the same spatial awareness used in soccer is used in tag as well. He then points out to Kira that after he was hit with the ball, there was still 1 second left on the clock. Ego compares this to a real game, and tells everyone that a real striker would never let that second go to waste, and that is why Kira is not fit for BlueLock. The show continues this trend of evolution and understanding of what it takes to be the world's best striker, that even skill and talent is not enough alone, but becoming an egoist is far more important. That's only the first episode. There are a lot more moments just like that, of truly getting into the nitty-gritty and discovering what it takes to make a great competitive athlete. And just like the emotions of watching real sports, the question of, will my team win or lose, BlueLock has that in spades. Along with the incredibly engaging story, BlueLock also sports some damn good animation. Of course, it's not as good as anime giants like Chainsaw Man or Demon Slayer, but it gets the job done, and shows off enough to keep you impressed. The soundtrack is equally as integral to making you feel that hype. I hope with a better understanding of the show and my personal recommendation, that you give BlueLock a try. It was enjoyable from the beginning to end, and it left me wanting more. Any show that does that is impressive in my eyes. If you're not a sports fan, I get that a show like this just doesn't seem appealing. Take it from someone who hasn't watched a full sports game since he was 11. BlueLock is not only a great sports anime, but a great anime.